Hey guys, and welcome back to Ghost Trick. Not much more of the game to go now, but from here on out, shit is officially gonna hit the fan. You know, the game has been taking it kind of easy with the twists so far. It's been throwing out just a few light jabs, like that one crossover Marvel DC issue where Batman and Captain America testing each other to see which one would win in a fight. I forget who wins, doesn't matter, this analogy is going nowhere. But the point is that the rest of the game, oh yes, this is what you could call the true Ghost Trick. It's going to start introducing new mechanics. The twists are going to pay off earlier ones. It's actually kind of exciting. And as such, the parts will be a lot longer, so please bear with us. Here we go.
Bear with us? I gotta bear with us.
Yeah? Oh my god, there's a bear in here with us. Jesus Christ.
We didn't want to bring it up, but we brought Jojo the bear from the California Ringling Circus. Applause. Thank you.
You okay, Mexi? You're not good with long parts, are you, mate?
I'm not, dude. These give me so much anxiety before we start. That's why I let you guys just kind of, take over, do your thing. You're the professionals. I'm a helpful, nice guy.
Oh, I think that's the only time I'll ever be called a professional by another human being. But I appreciate it. Also, you're hungover today, and I did say I would handle, most of it. It's fine. We're just getting to Lynn right now. There's no in-depth commentary that's needed until that point. Oh, poor chef. I'm amazed he hasn't flown off that thing.
What is with Shutakumi putting characters with weird janky noses in playgrounds? He did it in the third Phoenix Wright game with the old dude, and now he's doing it again with the chef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Victor Kudo.
Yes.
Actually remember his name, my god.
Well, I mean, it's close to Victor Hugo.
Yeah, a little bit. That case was okay. We're not here to talk about Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
we'll leave that for a later date. Wink. Wink. So yeah, Lynn, did you find what you were looking for? Ignoring Richie's childlike mirth and wonder. We have bigger fish to fry right now. Oh my god, Lynn, did you end up killing someone? That certainly would be a twist.
Well, I mean, she already killed us, but yeah, she might have found a dead body.
Oh my god, I can see the afro poking out in the grass. It was that dude with the leaflets, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the dude with the leaflets, and he's pretty much as flat as a pancake right now.
Jeez.
Ew. I always ignore those people, because after they give you a pamphlet, there's always a survey afterwards, and then they gotta ask you a bunch of questions, and you just want to get to class, and they just go on and on.
Yes, there's been a wonderful term created in the UK for that type of person, and it's a chugger, a charity mugger. Actually very fitting terminology, and I really like it.
I'm gonna start using it. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure if I agree with that, because mugging implies assault, and they're not assaulting you, they're just getting up in your business.
Well, yes, but they are effectively pushing themselves and everything that they kind of want to get onto you, and they're catching you off guard when you kind of do not necessarily want any of that. So that is the term that has become associated with that type of behaviour.
Alright. Not to be confused with Sugar Conroy, of course. Anyway, getting off Richie's middle-class ramblings, we have to talk to this fella here, who has stars in his eyes. Ah, I miss Steven Universe.
Well, it's not finished yet, is it?
No, it's just painfully on hiatus for the past 5 months.
Well, you see, hiatus is better than dead, because while it means it probably will be dead eventually soon at some point, it's definitely not coming back.
Yeah, and to be fair, Rick and Morty went on a huge hiatus after the end of Season 2 from what I can just glean from social media tidbits. Yeah, I'd rather not focus on what this guy is saying, because God almighty, he does go on a fair bit.
Yes, we know. The stars are waking with the dreams of baby goats, and the salamander has risen with the moon. We get it.
Although annoyingly, he might be sort of actually saying something kind of important, especially with the Rock of the Gods.
Huh. Yeah, that's the point of this little conversation. Let's go back in time and bring him to life. Again.
Yes, it's just one of those bits that just makes you want to go, if I could turn back time.
Did we need to talk to him? We could have just been like, Lynn, hey, how about I just do you a favor? I'll just revive him, and then you take care of him.
Tom, I like how you're currently hating me right now, because... So, funny story, whilst we were doing the footage recording of this, pretty much every time that would turn up, I would just like to Tom, so obviously turn back time, and basically had a bit of a sing-song almost every time, and I was just like, you know, I'm surprised I haven't done that in the actual playthrough yet. And Tom was just like, don't do that, and I was just like, no, I am going to do it. I'll just surprise you with it randomly.
Well, I wasn't actually sighing at you, Mr. Meek, everything about myself. But, ooh, even bigger fish to fry. Man, this chapter is just going from, like, point A to point B. The train has left the hype station, and why did you need to spin on that at all? It doesn't make a lick of sense.
He's jovial?
Because he's a crazy person.
And crazy, yes.
Also, I'm pretty sure this is actually going to be the last we're going to see of Blames. At least I feel it's going to be the last we see of Blames.
Until, like, the epilogue and the credits, yes, you're absolutely right. Him and Blessy do not appear again in the course of the plot. I don't know why, they're just suddenly dropped. I guess just because they're, like, the footmen of the blue guys, shall we say, the blue man group. I guess they weren't needed in the plot as a whole. Push him, Camilla, with all your might!
Stranger danger! No means no! Take out a mace!
Take out a gun! No, take out a literal mace, you know, a spiked one. Oh dear. Well, this could have ended better. Wait, what?
Record scratch. So you're probably wondering how I ended up here.
Well, that was certainly peculiar, wasn't it?
Huh. First we had a bit of Zawaldo action, and then the object switched place. I think there's a manipulator hanging about here, lads.
Then time resumed.
You see, I have a slight problem with you saying that this is a manipulator, because something about that doesn't necessarily seem manipulatory, because, like, what we do, Sissel does, in Ghost Tricks, is manipulating something, because, he's actually moving things that aren't necessarily moving to begin with. This is more swapping things, so even though it's manipulating the location of something, it doesn't quite fit the deal of the manipulator that we have been told about.
Fair point, fair point.
Very true. Plus it's also instant teleportation. How in the actual fuck?
I know!
As far as you're aware, Sissel, trust me, this rabbit hole goes deep, laddo.
It's so funny, this is his first night of being a ghost and he thinks he has the rules down.
I know. And also he's just like, yeah, that totally can't happen. It's just like, well...
How do you know?
You can't do that, but you don't know. There could very well be another person who can do just that.
Alright, let's try and bring El Afro Magnifico back to life. Yeah, there's another ghost over there. I think we're going to have a chat with this spectral pal of ours. I keep using the same words a lot. Repetition is one of my biggest faults when it comes to commentary. I do apologise.
Yeah, also the fact that you said spectral when technically it would be spectral, but...
well,
yeah.
One of my anti-faults, my pros if you will, not talking about writing here, Richie, calm down, is that I make up words and I make them work. That's the cool thing about me. Anywho, we got to figure out the mystery of the levitating rock, I suppose. And we're going to have to find an alternate like route for it, because if it drops normally, Camilla's dead. If it gets swapped, Ladder over here is dead. We want to try and make an outcome wherein neither of these two die.
We can't all get what we want sometimes.
Yeah, so, you know, probably should have a conversation with Mr. Other Ghosty here, because clearly they're getting in on this business.
Hey, Ghost Bro, this is my turf. Back off.
Sissel does kind of look a bit like a gangster. Yeah. Oh, revelations?
This couldn't be any more perfect.
Missile!
It's missile!
It's good to have the best dog back on our screens again.
The only unfortunate thing is, Missile's a ghost, so Missile's dead. So at some point, Missile died again.
Yeah.
Which, for God's sake, who kills the dog?
What's cool about this chapter is not that Missile died, don't get ahead of yourself here, is that on the surface it seems relatively simple, like you're just going to Timsik Park to pick up a piece of evidence and check on Lynn. But then you get like Missile's backstory, you get a bit of stuff with Camilla and Blames over there, and yeah, you'll get to experience a new type of ghost trick, an added mechanic. After like 13 parts, getting something new. Although like the base ghost trick gameplay is good, like adding Missile into the mix just makes it that much more hype, I think.
What it manages to do is it manages to evolve the current gameplay beyond what it had been, because I think if it had just stayed as purely Sissel throughout the entire runtime of the game, you would have reached a point which would have been around here where you would have just been like, well, this is just the same thing that it's been throughout the entire game. Can they not do anything new with this idea? But thankfully, they did do something new with this idea, and that was Missile.
There you go. It also, like, I guess an unintended benefit of it is that it also makes setting up sequels easier too. Just new characters with a slightly new ghost trick.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want a ghost trick sequel. I've discussed why before, but now we have to focus on the fact that the doggy just got ran over.
By Blames, yeah, he can go die in a fire. Nobody kills Missile, although to be fair, that said, despite the fact that you know Missile's died, it might actually prove a bit fortuitous, because obviously if Missile's got slightly greater powers than we do, we can team up to save the day, and that'll just be awesome.
Could they not give this guy a bit more, like, poses and whatnot? The juxtaposition between him smiling and what he's saying is really jarring.
Unfortunately, that's one of the side effects when the more charismatic, more character-driven villain is, like, a third-tier villain, and then the actual main villains, you know, they're good, they're evil, I guess, but they're not quite as charismatic as his underlings, so, you know, more of the animation effort goes to the big baddies.
But then obviously the slightly depressing thing is that those big baddies are hardly in the game until the last couple of chapters, whereas Blessy and Blames are actually there for quite a chunk of this middle section, and then obviously they just vanish.
If the core of the ghost trick plot wasn't as interesting and compelling as it was, I'd view that as a negative, but as it is, I think like having the villains around as minorly as they are doesn't affect things overall much in the quality department.
Oh no. They knew exactly which characters they wanted to focus on, and they did a good job. Characters just didn't get focused on. I mean, you can't give every story an intricate like development and stuff. Go Missile, do the thing.
Yeah, Sissel can't reach that far. How powerful is Missile's ghost trick abilities?
Infinitely cosmic!
Clearly quite a lot, because Missile, obviously we know from what's going to occur, Missile has the ability to jump quite a big distance, and also has a very different power to what Sissel has.
Jesus. That was like double the length that Sissel can move between objects.
Yeah, and this is why Missile is pretty awesome, because Missile allows you to explore areas quite a bit more than you would have been able to before. That said, in most situations you're not necessarily going to be wanting to explore that much, because obviously you're in a very time-sensitive environment quite often, and you generally just want to get on with things, so you're going to be switching back and forth between Sissel and Missile to make progress, and so exploration kind of falls off the wayside a bit.
And of course, the downside to Missel's skill set is he can't manipulate stuff like Sissel can. So, like Richie said, we got to work together to save both Camilla and Park Leaflet guy. Is he ever given a name, Richie?
I'm not sure if he is. I'm gonna see if I can find anything.
Huh.
You wanna know why Missile can't manipulate stuff? He doesn't have fucking thumbs, so it kind of all makes sense.
So yes, this guy is not given any name other than the Guardian of the Park.
Sounds like a boss subtitle to me, and I don't think he deserves that.
But the thing that's quite funny, and something that the Ghost Trick Wikia brings up, is that he deeply resembles one Lotta Hart from the East Attorney franchise.
That's what he's a reference to. I don't know why I never got that.
Yeah, I never got that either, which is ridiculous because it's so obvious when you look at it, because you've got the red afro and the green top, and that's Lotta down to a T.
All you need is just that good country home cook loving heart stuff. I never really liked the, translation they gave Lotta Heart, where they just made her country bumpkin. It was a little too on the nose.
Well, she was never my favourite character to begin with, but again, we'll save that for
fucking brat.
we'll save that for a future Ace Attorney playthrough. You can see another object over there. It's the same shape as Mino the Rock, but unfortunately, while Missile can reach pretty far with his ghost paw, I don't think he'll be able to stretch over that distance. So, the mission now is clear. We got to bring that football, I guess, rugby ball, if you're of the Libby persuasion, closer to Mino, swap him, and then nobody has to die.
We'll see how that works out. But something that I do want to kind of quickly bring up now, since, we are in it for the long haul in this chapter, is the fact that obviously this is called Temsik Park.
Uh-huh.
And Temsik backwards is Kismet, and Kismet is the Turkish word for fate, which I think is a very fitting description of this park, so it's the Fate Park.
When he said the word backwards, it didn't make it sound like any more of a word to me. So it's like, spelled backwards, it's Geizemug, which means who fucking cares? But it just sounded so weird that it was an actual word.
And did you know that the word bed is shaped like a bed?
Yes.
Race car backwards is race car.
The words guarantee and warranty are actually the same word that we got from two different languages.
No, I just find that funny because I saw that tidbit reading the comment section of a piece of music from the soundtrack. Did you get it from there as well, Richie?
No, I was going via the Ghost Trick Wiki because obviously I was on the Guardian of the Parks page and I thought, well, let's just have a look at Temsik Park, and it's there right at the bottom. Obviously, in different translations, they kind of replicate that idea. Because in the Spanish version of the game, Temsik is called Onitsed, which is Destino backwards.
Ah.
As obviously Destino is the Spanish word for fate or destiny. In the Italian version, Temsik is called Etros, which is sort, or sorte spelled backwards, which also means fate. So I don't know why they decided to use a Turkish word in the English translation of the game. They could have gone and called it Etaf Park, or
like, they're not above using obvious puns. They literally are not. When there is a character called Johnny B. Good, like, you can have Etaf Park and it wouldn't be beneath these guys.
Exactly, like, it would have been fine.
Richie, there is a reason for it being a foreign word. I can't bring it up now, but the Rock not being from around here and being named like that makes sense. They were going for like foreign and strange. Anywho, let's save a couple of lost souls, shall we? We need to get that rugby ball down here, so let's rock.
We're playing with balls.
Thank you, Bexy. You just had to be the one to say that, didn't you?
I'm here all hour. So, is it a teeter-totter or a seesaw?
Seesaw.
That's a seesaw.
Okay. Then what's a teeter-totter?
I think it's just a synonym for it, really.
I think.
Okay.
Well, the way that I would probably... Well, so in most of the United States, a seesaw is also called a teeter-totter. So they are identical, it's just Americans being weird.
Says the guys that add a U to the word calower.
Yeah, Sonic Call
excuse
Hours,
me.
my favourite game. Stop saying excuse me, you adorably cute motherfucker!
But yes, excuse me. The English language existed before American English did, and therefore, colour spelt with a U is the correct version.
Excuse you, but maybe you need to update your English to version 1.02?
Yeah, whatever. Mexi, did you have a problem with this puzzle the first time? Because when I first played the game and reached chapter 14, this was definitely the hardest one I encountered thus far.
I had literally a problem with every chapter from the jail escape on. Like, at this point, I was just in the game for the plot. Like, I had already done the puzzles. It's like, I'm so done with the way that they designed these. I've thought as hard as I can. Let's just guide it all the way through. I just want to see how this story goes, because it's getting kooky and crazy.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose.
I have really low patience. It's kind of like why I don't play Metroid games either. Like, anything that... Like, it's not that I don't want to think. It's that if I have to think for so long, like, it starts to lose the value. And it's like, you know what? I just gotta hurry up and get through this game because I got other shit to do.
Well, I mean, in a way, that's sort of how I am with the Layton games. Like, obviously, I love the Layton games, and I love their puzzles. But there are certain times where you come up against a puzzle and you're just like, yeah, this is just going to take far too long to figure out, and I haven't got the energy or the desire to deal with this right now. I just want to get on with the story, and so you just sort of slightly cheap your way through.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe Layton puzzles. Sometimes, because after a point, like, you can't lose any more pick-a-rats, so you can just keep trying as many times as you like. Or, you know, you can just go to the internet and find the answers like, I do, the big baby bitch, Tom64, puzzle solver extraordinaire. Anywho.
Like, I'll give you
No, Tom is talking now, Tom is talking now!
No!
Jesus!
I want to talk about puzzles!
Fine, talk about puzzles, whatever. Let fate play out, see what I care.
So, the guy with the red afro is gonna not get squished, and neither is the girl, and that's how you succeed with this puzzle. The end.
Oh my god, you triggered me for literally nothing! Yes, being talked over is definitely one of my triggers, so if you want to become my mortal enemy, just never let me get a word in, and I will kill myself from stress.
So what you're talking about, Tom, here is that you don't want people talking over the top of you, and that's just really annoying?
Oh, Lord have mercy! Alright lads, let's switch it up!
Remix.
Go Missile! Best boy! Okay. Let's talk in more swapping, please.
Well, of course, it's just like, it reaches that point where you're just like, just let me do the thing. I know exactly what I'm doing, I just need to do the thing.
Julie, do the thing.
Do you think if it fell on him at this point, it would kill him, or it would just, like, break bones?
I mean, that would certainly do some pretty nasty damage to him, because he'd be trapped under there if it fell on him now. And depending on where it fell, it could do even more damage. It could still kill him, but as long as it doesn't move from that spot and it seems pretty sturdy, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, also you gotta factor in that it did fall from a height, and, you know, momentum played a factor, you know, velocity played a factor.
Gravity.
Exactly.
There you go. Could have just said gravity, really. I'm not good with the science. Double F, GCSE. Do LPs for a living. It all adds up when you think about it. Aww. Missile, why did you have to die? I mean, I think you actually call her dead, but I don't like seeing a dog get run over, okay?
Yeah, no, that's...
No. I mean, to be fair, that is sort of... You look at any sort of narrative, whether it be film or video game, the one thing that is always pretty much guaranteed to make the audience cry is kill the dog. Always.
So they made an entire movie about the dog always dying.
Ah yes, Old Blella, my favourite.
But yeah, that's a pretty ongoing trope. But what I do like in this game is that it kind of takes that trope of we're killing the dog to get a bit of an emotional jolt out of you by killing the dog.
Yeah.
That actually ends up kind of perversely being for the best. Because now that we have another ghost on our side, it means that we can do more, and we're more likely to be able to save the day.
Do you guys ever go on that one website that all it does is list movies and then indicates whether the dog lives or dies?
I want to make a site like that, but is Entom in this commentary and just have all of them say yes?
Oh my god.
Well, Tom,
Yeah?
I believe if you're looking at HellfireComms, you can't say that all of them are yes, because there are actually at least 2 which do not have you in at all.
Fair enough, but you gotta scroll down pretty far to find those.
Well, yeah, you do. They're
I
very
just-
old at this point.
I just like superfluous bits of media, okay? It's just funny to me for some reason. Also, I like juxtaposition. Like, you get a really rocking AMV intro, and then it's just, hey guys, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 2 Battle Reviews, and stuff like that, you know? It's just funny. That's my sense of humour. I'm inside the leaf, Miss Lynn! You spooked yet?
Oh, Missile is best dog. Although Missile's always going to be the best dog. But there is a pretty. This is not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form. But there is a pretty cute dog in Super Mario Odyssey, and it's adorable.
I know. I've seen it.
So if we had ghost trick screen caps with no context, that last one would have been hilarious. Like just this girl in the middle of a park talking to a leaf. The leaf is talking back. Also, there's a giant face rock in the background. Why? Play the game.
I love fucking hate to go back to Steven Universe again, but there's these shit posts which are like, explain to someone who's never seen Steven Universe what this image means, and you know that bit in Jailbreak where Garnet appears, not to give any spoilers, and speaks to Steven for the first time in the episode?
Yes.
I'm assuming one of you has seen the Jailbreak episode.
I've seen the Jailbreak episode, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Mexi, for pulling my ass out of the fire. There's something like, lesbian spider preys on young boy or something, just because the way she's posing and whatnot.
Lesbian spider. It's true, because she has her third fucking eye, and she's squatting right in front of his face. It's hilarious.
Aww, he's bashful, although his facial expression has not changed a jot.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to describe all episodes of Steven Universe as lesbian spider attacks young child.
Who wants to watch a show about people crying? That's one of my favourite jokes in that show.
Oh yeah, the crying breakfast friends or some shit. Like, he's even got stickers.
Yeah. Written by Samantha Pepper. Okay, I'll get off the fucking SU subject, okay? What's your beef, not a lot of heart? What you gotta say? Wait a minute. Oh, I think there's some bantics about to occur. That's bants and antics. That's a portmanteau, Richie. Mr. My words don't make sense.
Well, no, but that one actually does make sense, because you can see exactly the etymology of the word. I'm quite proud of you for bantics.
Wait a minute. 10 years? In the park? Didn't Jowd say something about the park 10 years ago?
He did indeed.
B-movie, it's all coming together.
I love this music track right now. It's sort of like Trauma, but this one I think takes itself a bit more somberly and a bit more seriously, especially for like exposition dumps.
Oh, so basically for the second half of this game.
Yeah, because that's basically what we're getting right now.
Yep, expect 20 minutes of luscious, deep, rich lore.
Yes, like this game really does love to have quite long exposition dumps of its lore. It's one of those things where when you're playing the game, this is fine, because you sort of want to know more and you're kind of voraciously consuming it, or at least that's the idea.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it back, you're kind of just like, yeah, this is talking.
I got you here, bro. I understand. I mean, even like on a second playthrough, this is just a bit excessive.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Is it really fair to judge how a game's plot is paced when you're doing an LP, where the point of it is literally just to speak from point A to point B?
Well, yeah. That I mean, to be fair,
that's something I struggle with a lot when it comes to praising a game's dialogue and story, I gotta admit.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those... So, Ghost Trick is very much a game that I would say shines the most on its first playthrough, and then on subsequent playthroughs tends to start to diminish in terms of how you respond to it, if only because you already know what's going to happen. Obviously, me and Tom enjoyed redoing it for recording this, and Mexi, I'm sure you're enjoying reliving all the fun plot stuff and gameplay bits. But if you were to play through it again, those longer stretches of dialogue and plot dump can just begin to get that little bit excessive and reach the point where you're just like, I don't really want to sit through this anymore. Hopefully you can, just skip your way through it. But when you get dialogue that you just want to skip through, I think that then kind of says, or at least brings across the idea that maybe you could have shrunk down the amount of text presenting this idea. Like, perhaps there's a bit too much going on in terms of how much dialogue you're presenting, and you could have just streamlined it a bit to make sure that every time you play it, you want to sit through it all. But then, by the same thing, I wouldn't say that Ghost Trick is the type of game that you would replay numerous times, because it doesn't set itself up that way.
No, it doesn't, no.
And that's totally fair.
I would like to take back all the criticism I made of this game's writing, going back to that dialogue they had where, not gods, dogs, to which my response is, same thing.
Yeah. He's a bit of a dog lover, is Mexi. Also, this scene pays off beautifully later, and I can't give you even the slightest smidgen as to why, because it would be a major spoiler. Also, just looking back, the meteorite that fell in the park, if you were paying close attention to when Sissel was revived, I guess, or he woke up as a ghost, you'll notice there's a bit of something emanating from that rock. Keep that in mind. That's also a critical spoiler that'll come into play later. God damn, here comes Deoxys.
Kaboom. Now everyone's a ghost.
Even you, and even me.
But only one in a shell. Oh, right, so this is how we explain how Lavos got to Earth and how it embedded itself in the planet, and then it's going to cause doomsday in the year 1999, right?
Yeah. Mexi, if we ever do Chrono Trigger, you fancy being a part of that?
I'd fancy all of that cake, good sir.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'll have to see what Hell Dragon thinks in probably not 2018, probably like 2019 or something.
I like how our commentaries are essentially like Marvel movies. We're scheduling them out like 4 years in advance. So it's the HFC Extended Universe.
I can't wait. That would be the HFCU, wouldn't it? Wait, no. HFCCU, the HellfireComms Cinematic Universe.
All of the movie commentaries are canon to each other.
Oh yeah. You actually, like, there's tidbits Like, the foundation was laid in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie commentary, but it doesn't really pay off until you get to the Frozen commentary in, I think, the second Disney Fund. That's really where it all comes together.
Of course.
Oh, speaking of, Disney Fund 3, happening 2018, so look forward to that.
Oh! That will be quite exciting, and also, obviously, Tom, you have promised me Moana for the first film, so, yes!
I've also promised a few other things, like you're going to help me decide on the playlist and whatnot. But back to action, I suppose. Lynn can't seem to remember what happened, which is strange considering that meteorite made such a huge news? Sorry, I was reading what was on screen. Made such a huge noise, and also, you know... Although I guess that's how trauma works. That's a running theme. You know,
Yeah.
You put it to the back of
Just
your
some
mind.
retrograde amnesia.
Yeah, you put it to the back of your mind, and I don't know, it just gets buried by new memories and whatnot.
It's just one of those things that does happen. With particularly traumatic experiences, they either keep coming back to haunt you, which is obviously post-traumatic stress disorder, and that is particularly awful to have. You can also do the other thing of you sort of block it out, or your brain subconsciously blocks it out.
Aww.
So you just don't think about it, and it's just not you easily forget things associated with that incident. Like, I mean, I look back at my time at school, and there's a lot that just can't remember anymore. I know it's the same for my sister, because both of us got bullied at school, but both of us look back and we're just like, there's huge gaps in our memory of things that occurred, because, yeah, we've just blocked it out.
See, the human brain is kind of a smart little organ. It's the only one that will actually, like, work to protect itself. It will rewrite itself to protect parts of itself. It's kind of crazy.
The human body is fucking fascinating, just in the way it's a self-healing, like, machine, essentially. It's one of the most advanced machines in the world, but I'm getting very philosophical right now. We still have a deadline to solve all these mysteries, so I think what's best now is we head back to the Justice Minister's officer and ask Gerald a thing or two, because we've still got about 14 minutes left. I spat all over my screen there, don't know why.
There's a lot of talky in this chapter, and I like how you were bringing up about the body being a really good healing machine, because I've basically been watching a cut that I caused myself a couple of days ago, slowly but surely healing up over the days, because it's like on my thumb.
Huh.
And so obviously you are constantly sort of looking at your hands as you're doing stuff, and so I've been able to see it go from obviously when the skin came off to all the layers slowly but surely knitting themselves together
Okay,
as time goes by.
Are we done
quite
with this?
fascinating.
There's like important stuff happening on screen. That's how you secretly open the box, by the way. You just apply brute force.
You break it fucking open like a man.
Huh. Don't look down the barrel of it, it might still be loaded.
That's like gun safety 101.
It reminds me of that one Top Gear gif. I don't know if any of you have seen that. I think it was James May who looked down the barrel of a shotgun or something, and like I think Richard Hammond and the other dude whose name escapes me just fucking cringed.
Jeremy Clarkson.
Jeremy Clarkson just like fucking cringed out of the room.
Also, I find it quite funny that you've forgotten the name of the person who's arguably the biggest star of Top Gear, but also the biggest asshole.
Well, you know, tomato, tomato. Sometimes being an asshole brings in the viewers and whatnot. It's the banter, you know?
Unfortunately.
Have you ever forgotten about the impossible move? That's the, Camilla machine activated, by the way. Also, that's the gun. That's the gun that was in the music box. There you go.
Huh. Yeah, just to hide it away. Totally not tampering with evidence. Nope, not whatsoever.
Bada bing.
It proves that there's a contradiction.
Objection!
No, overruled. Not until 2018 at the very least. Also, we still have to do Layton 3, and I don't even know if Helldragon's up for that, but, you know, you throw a bit of Patreon money over him, you make it rain, who knows? The possibilities are endless.
Make it rain.
It's fine. I'm sure we can persuade him to participate in Layton 3, because Professor Layton and the Lost Future is beautiful.
Aww.
Can you now? Can you prove this, Lynn? Because this is court, and the only thing that has value is evidence.
Well, also, you know, you can pay off the form, and that could probably do you some good, but also is very illegal and would be very bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, bribing someone is just another form of presenting evidence.
This is true.
Sorry, it took a moment for the morality of that to sink in. I get what you're saying. Jad is thankful. He's finally put his suicidal thoughts behind him, and he's ready to seek the truth. He's ready to be a good father for Camilla, because obviously if he died, she'd be an orphan.
I love how you caught yourself before you said he put his suicidal thoughts to rest.
No, I was actually just searching for the right word, but thanks for putting words in my mouth. Now I'll have suicidal thoughts, thank you very much.
Don't do that.
Well, we were just in Fate Park, so, I think Sissel's catching on. He's becoming genre savvy. He's self-realizing his own character arc.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know this was one of those man versus the author postmodern shit stories.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh. Well, I guess it's time to, get it all out there, Jan. Lay your soul bare. Oh, can you stop popping in like that, please? You gave me a fright.
And also, Sissel does make a very good point that if he dies again, we're the one who's going to have to save him. But annoyingly, I don't know quite what we'd be able to do in that situation, because he would have just been dying from a basic heart attack, I would assume. And
Basic? That shit kills you.
Obviously it kills you, but there'd be very little we could do to stop a heart attack other than, you know, somehow managing to call an ambulance, but it wouldn't necessarily get to the Justice Minister's office in time, and so he'd probably end up dead either way.
That's a very good possibility. Well, not calling an ambulance, he probably just ended up Kira-ing Lynn over here, but maybe she was manipulated. That first shot we saw on the tape did look a bit unsteady. The second one looked more focused.
And also it would make a lot more sense, because obviously Lynn is another of those characters where you look at her and you see how she acts and you're just like, yeah, you're not a killer duck. So it makes very little sense for her to pull a gun on somebody, especially someone that she'd only just met.
Yeah.
Because you see her arm trembling when we saw her shoot Sissel, but previously the context was that, oh, she's probably inexperienced, she's just nervous, but now that we've seen what the Justice Minister being possessed looked like, then you see the similarities between how Lynn was acting, and now there's a completely different context to her shaking arm lifting the gun.
Yeah.
I have to say that's actually something that I think that Ghost Trick does do very well with its plot, is that it presents bits of story to you and ideas in one context, so you see them in one certain way, and then later on it returns to that idea with a bit of new context, shifts up the way you see it, and it keeps doing that, and it keeps layering until you finally get the whole picture.
Yeah, and it never feels contrived. That's the mark of good writing, I think.
Yeah, it very much works as a mystery game. Obviously, it's not a full-on mystery game because you're not actually solving anything other than the puzzles to save people's lives, but the mystery of the narrative works because it is just that layering, and that is always the best route to doing a successful mystery story.
What's nuts about Ghost Trick is you guys have already seen the biggest spoiler in the game. You might not have realised it, but your brain did. Gotta steal from the best sometimes. It's fun. It's fine. Let's go back 10 years. 10 years ago at Fate Park. It was you, Jowd. You did it. You're still a murderer. I can't roll my R's like the conductor on the Owl Express in A Hat in Time. Look out for a playthrough of that in 2018 as well, by the way. Hoo boy! I haven't played Odyssey yet, so Hat in Time is my current game of the year.
To be fair, well, obviously because I've not played Hat in Time, but I do have the strong suspicion that Odyssey will definitely end up being up there for you, Tom, as Game of the Year. It's definitely become mine very quickly because I got so addicted to it that I beat it in 3 days.
Hey.
And that's like 11 hours worth of gameplay. Like, my god, I've spent so much time on it already.
Well, a Game of the Year only comes along once a year, so savour it while you can.
Oh, definitely.
The truth. It's time to learn the truth about 10 years ago.
You know, Shu Takumi is always at his best when it's a story that is just a continuation of past events. Like, have you noticed that some of the best cases in Phoenix Wright, where the bulk of the mystery is in the past, and you're just dealing with, like, the long-term consequences that have suddenly popped up?
Yeah. That's why Bridge to the Turnabout works so well, because it builds on the first 2 games' lore and whatnot.
Like, he's really good about bridging time periods.
And the other reason that it works is because it builds on the lore. It builds on the lore from all the other cases in the game. So not only is it's literally bridging all of the games and all of the cases within that one game, and I think that's why it ends up being as successful as it is, because it's just the perfect culmination of everything the Ace Attorney trilogy had been working towards. And yeah, just love that case and that game.
I adore Jowd's theme. It's not my favourite piece on the soundtrack, but it suits him perfectly. Really? Nothing to add to that? Just gonna sit here and fucking,
I agree with you. I don't know. I feel like the best detective theme is still Gumshoes, but yeah, all the detective themes are all unique enough and they're real good reflections of the characters.
I think that sort of the best tracks in Ghost Trick are sort of the main theme, Trauma, and then I can't remember the other one, but there's another one that's pretty damn good as well.
I feel, and it's not a knock on Ghost Trick, I just feel that Phoenix Wright games have better character themes.
Yes.
The Ghost Trick ones are good too, they're just not quite there.
I think the reason for that is because, one, the Ace Attorney games are longer than Ghost Trick, so there's more time for those songs to settle into your head, but also the tunes are written to be a little bit more catchy.
Yes, let's leave it there because this is a pivotal point right now. The final face Jowd wanted to remember was the face of the man in the park that day, and that man was... I think you may have all guessed it by now. We did see that painting.
Missile, do you have anything to confess before we reveal?
There you go. It was Sissel. Sissel was the one who took Lynn hostage in the park 10 years ago.
What a twist! Oh no, we've been playing a bad guy this whole time. My whole moral outlook on all my actions has just made a 180. I mean, we've helped a convict escape from prison. What else did we do? Well, we kind of prevented some deaths, so...
Well, we prevented deaths, but also, you know, we trapped a defenseless woman in a burning chandelier and left her for dead.
Right. We've crushed several blue people, too.
Exactly, yes, we've murdered people. And, well, what?
Hang on, the name of that man wasn't Sissel. So what is our name, then? Who am I? Who am I?
Isn't that the question we're all asking ourselves this day and age? It's like, come on, dude. We have existential crisis for breakfast.
I mean, to be fair, you could go with the very simple answer of who am I? I'm Jean Valjean.
Oh, you motherfucker. I knew that was coming. I knew there was going to be a fucking Les Mis reference.
But yes, Inspector Cabanella is saying he's got a demand. And he's not looking very well either.
Did he really take it that hard over not being able to talk to a ghost? That's what caused his, like, face heel turn?
I guess. I mean, that's so petty, but I feel at the same time his personality always seemed kind of unstable. Like, even with all the fancy dancing and stuff.
He did come across a bit Edgeworth-like, like in the last few chapters and whatnot, wanting to be the best. Although, I guess that pattern of behaviour was established throughout the whole game. Alright, so they still want the execution to go on as planned. You know, the minister's back in a bind now. Just when he thought he was getting over his troubles, more troubles reared their ugly head.
It's like, the execution has to go on. They already sold the tickets, people have RSVP'd, the caterer is already dropping the food off. Like, we cannot turn back from this point.
We have to execute someone, okay? I paid to see someone die, someone better fucking die.
Some Hunger Game ass shit.
Jesus. Just how deep does this rabbit hole go? Well, I don't know, without spoiling, sorry. At least I know one thing. I'm keeping an eye on the time to make sure I finish this part properly this time. No additional dialogue here. We gotta find out who the true identity of our main character is, because his name ain't Sissel. And, yeah, he may just turn out to be a bad guy after all. We'll see you next time for another installment of Ghost Trick. Bye-bye.